believe that the Los Angeles Rams, because of their secondary, was a vantage defense moving forward. So, this defense of New England is going to be better than what the Seahawks have faced amongst the playoffs, I would say.
Yeah, and I think that's fair to point out. But at the same time, I think we've seen a little bit better offensive play out of Seattle as well. Continue to talk about that. Plus, is it fair to criticize Tom Brady for not publicly rooting for the Patriots? That's next. It's Freddie and Harry on ESPN Radio.
Life is full of choices, some big, some small. And when you choose an H&R Block Tax Pro, you're choosing the largest network of tax expertise to be in your corner. For when your big ambitions need help with the small details. For when your six figures come from 6 different places. For when your gaming stream becomes your revenue stream. For when your business's year one needs 70 years of tax know-how. At H&R Block, we've seen it all, and we're here to help you make the most out of your money for life outside the box. Get started at hrblock.com.
Time is valuable. That's why Lowe's Blueprint Takeoffs turn blueprints into quotes faster. Bring us your plans, and we'll generate itemized material lists to make quoting easier so you can get back to building. Plus, at the Lowe's Pro Desk, you get access to thousands of building materials not sold in store. And when your order's ready, we'll deliver everything to the job site. Improving is easy at Lowe's.
News now on 102.7 The Game.
Reporting for Cromwell Media News, I'm Rob Nichols. U.S. Senator Mitch McConnell missed several votes on Monday and Tuesday while recovering from flu-like illness symptoms. The 83-year-old Kentucky Republican checked himself into the hospital out of an abundance of caution and is said to be improving. Most of the votes were skipped or procedural, while some were judicial nominations. McConnell says he's grateful for the excellent care that he's receiving. Tickets for the Kentucky Derby events go on sale today. That says the 152nd running of the famous race is just 100 days away. Churchill Downs is making big changes to its schedule this year. The racetrack will move its opener and kickoff to Derby week to the afternoon rather than running at night under the lights. Officials say there'll also be an additional day of racing. As the track brings back Sunday to the Derby week schedule, ticket sales begin at noon today. An Indiana State House Committee has held a hearing on a bill to ban the use of cell phones in all classrooms. Supporters of the bill say they want their children to be able to focus in class. The Indiana Association of Public School Superintendents Executive Director Jeff Butt says social media is what they are most concerned about, and they say they support the bill but want more restrictions on those apps. A vote on the bill by the committee is expected next week. Find the latest news, sports, community events, and more at owensbororadio.com. I'm Rob Nichols reporting.
When something goes wrong with your plumbing, it never happens at a good time. It happens fast, and it needs fixed fast. Call RFI Plumbing. We're local, licensed, fully insured, and ready to handle everything from emergency leaks to everyday repairs and full plumbing projects. No guesswork, no runaround. Just clear communication, quality work, and a good job done right. When it matters most, trust the local pros at RFI Plumbing.
When the uniform comes off, the service doesn't end. I'm Brian Basham. Join me every Saturday morning on K-News 101.3 for The Other Side of Service. Real conversations about life after the uniform. Hear from veterans and veteran service organizations like AMVETS, the VFW, the American Legion, the Owensboro-Davis County Veterans Organization, and Veterans Empowered Together. The Other Side of Service, Saturday, 7 to 10 a.m. on K-News 101.3.
And now, Western Kentucky weather on 102.7 The Game.
Partly cloudy skies with temperatures in the mid-20s tonight. Headed into Friday, will remain partly to mostly cloudy. We'll top out in the lower 40s by Friday afternoon. Those skies will gradually clear Friday night with temperatures dropping all the way back down into the lower 20s. And that sets us up for a dry but cool Saturday. We'll see mostly sunny skies, but highs will only top out in the lower 30s. But we bounce back up into the lower 40s for our Sunday. I'm meteorologist Michael Fecker with your 14 First Alert forecast.
From the Floor Concept Studios. Legally, we're WLME 102.7 FM. Lewisport, but you can just call us The Game. 102.7. 102.7. Turns, Clarence. Roger. What's our vector, Victor?
Hello, sports fans, and welcome to
Live at 5.
It's Live at 5, and it's brought to you by Foreman Watson Holtree, FWHlegal.com, And now your host for Live at 5, Stephen A. Turner.
What's up and welcome to Live at 5, brought to you by Foreman Watson Holtry. One call for injury law, that's FWHlegal.com. Stephen A. Turner here in the Floor Concept Studios, joined by Coach Vic Evans.
What's up, man?
Oh, another day, man. Just another day. You know, I wish it'd warm up a little bit.
It's getting there. We'll have a heat wave come through. It'll be like Miami next week.
It's getting kind of depressing. I mean, every day is just gets so cold and just blah. So, yeah, get rid of some of this. This is the ultimate test to know whether I could ever live in the North.
Well, I'll give you this will warm.
Absolutely not.
I'll give you a something to warm you up. Well, it's just like a week and 5 days from baseball, softball, media day. So there you go. It's going to be warmed up.
Man, that's crazy. Yeah.
Baseball practice kicks off officially in like 10 days.
Yeah. No, and the weather looks better next week. I think it'll be a couple days in the 60s, and then we can just complain about how we're all sick and all that stuff. But at least maybe somewhere in there we'll get a little bit of a thaw out. Like the last couple days, I feel like they projected it to be warmer than it actually was. And so, I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully, we can get thawed out. I know it'll be a big sports weekend. Obviously, you got basketball across the area tomorrow night. And then Saturday, you'll be up doing the Kentucky Wesleyan Ashland game. Huge game up there. Men's, women's doubleheader. Mm-hmm. You'll have it at noon. Is that noon our time?
Tip-off noon Central Standard Time. BIO. We'll have the women's game at noon. The men about 25 minutes after. Yeah. Talking about tomorrow. You've got Hancock on BIO. You've got a doubleheader on K-News with you and Chris Riley. You got a doubleheader on VJS with Owensboro and Dan Bartlett. And then you got Apollo Davis County on LME.
Yeah, be a full.
And then McLean on Saturday.
Full weekend, really. Mm-hmm. I mean, because UK and Tennessee play Saturday night. You got Kentucky Wesleyan Saturday afternoon, and you got the big game on Sunday.
Yeah, we've got the tailgate party. We'll have it here on 102.7 The Game. It'll be the tailgate party with Mike Golick and Mike Golick Jr. are running the tailgate party for Westwood 1 from 1 to 3. And then from 3 to 4, we've got the Super Bowl show from Westwood 1. And then, of course, 4 o'clock kickoff to the Super Bowl. You'll be able to hear all of that right here on 102.7 The Game.
Yeah. So, and I'll be out Monday. I believe Dave will be here for me.
Dave will do Live at 5 with me from Owensboro Country Club. We'll follow then to the coaches show. Mm-hmm. And then we'll have also right after that on LME, after Live at 5 on LME, you'll have Catholic and Apollo in an interesting game on LME Monday at Apollo.
It will be, yeah. I'll miss that big game. I say it's big game in air quotes because it's a regular season game. They're going to meet again. They shall meet. If Catholic wins tomorrow, it's locked in. They'll meet again. Well, I say that. You still got Apollo playing Davis County as well. So, I mean, but it looks like RPI. I'm going to go ahead and say
Davis County was way ahead in the RPI. Yeah. I don't think there's a way for Apollo to catch them.
No, that looks like it's going to be the matchup in the game in the district tournament here a little bit later on. But me and Amber are going like completely off the grid. We do it once a year. We're going like and there's no cell service even. So, I mean, you get Wi-Fi if need be, but. So, yeah, we'll be completely off the grid. In Breckenridge County, of all places.
So this is where Amber takes to what we know you'll become up missing. And you'll be on the Sassholes podcast, couple Sassholes podcasts of a true crime. Off the grid, you can't use your cell phone. That's she just kills you.
And that's it.
Gets rid of you.
Probably deserved it if that was the case.
Sends in a ransom note a la like the Guthrie's, the Live at 5.
Yeah. Yep, that's it. No, I'm looking forward to it. I'm kind of looking forward to it.
It's such a strange story out there with the NBC host and Savannah Guthrie.
See, I haven't. I saw a bunch of posts, and I've been kind of off the grid anyway. Honestly.
Like her mom, who lives in Arizona, come up missing, and like now there's like people sending TMZ like ransom demands and. Strange.
Yeah, it's a strange world we live in.
It is.
It really is a strange world.
Prayer out to the Savannah Guthrie and her family.
Yeah, we actually have a sports show today to talk about. We got a little UK here in a minute to talk a little U of L. Miniature high school scoreboard, get you set for the games tonight. Segment 2 will be Brent Houck coming on, Green River Area Federal Credit Union guest of the game. Talk about the book you wrote about the state championship Edmonson County team.
Yeah, 1976 state championship team, Mammoth Miracle. You can find it out there, and we'll talk to him about it, about what was the what was the inspiration for writing the book. It was odd when I did some research. He's from Bowling Green, went to Warren Central, You know, he's living in Atlanta.
Guess you just saw it from a distance.
And then you'll see it in the interview.
No spoilers.
You'll see it in the interview. But but to be a guy, I just assumed when the book was, you heard about the book, I was like, okay, it's an Evanston County guy. No, it's a Bowling Green guy from Warren Central, and it's a great story about how he fell in love with Sweet 16 and that Evanston team.
Yeah, we're gonna have a little extended Van Atten's Pitmaster barbecue sauce. That will be, not almost. It's the whole back half of the show. Got a little NBA, a little Kentucky Wesleyan, little NFL draft already leaking in there. We got a little high school and Super Bowl stuff going on. Just tiny little Super Bowl stuff mixed in there. So it'll be a fun back half of the show. Download the Owensboro radio app. You can listen anywhere in the world. If you missed yesterday's show with Travis Holtry kicking off, talked about Miles to Miracles. Be sure and follow Travis's page, Miles to Miracles, on Facebook, and more details will emerge about that fundraising event and Travis running the triathlons, Ironmans.
It's Olympic. You got three of them. You got the Olympic triathlon, then you got a little bigger triathlon, and then you got the Ironman. And the Ironman, as we talked about yesterday, 2.5 mile swim. You run a marathon, and then
if you ever seen Forrest Gump, it's like that, except with bikes and
and then you ride 112
even though Vic said
miles.
It was one of the most overrated movies.
It is. Listen, it's a great movie. I watch it when it's on, and it's got great lines. But the movie is so overrated.
Here we go with my attention deficit disorder kicking in, because we're talking Travis's Miles to Miracles, but then I bring that up, then it just trickles right in. You slid that Breaking Bad most overrated show
of all time
in on me right when we're going off the air.
Yes.
That is a worse take than the Christian Leitner take that you had here.
No, well, the Christian Leitner take was right, and the Breaking Bad tape is
the greatest college basketball player of all time.
Yeah, in modern history. Yes,
it's not right, but
yes, it is.
And
who would you put better?
And that one's Anthony Davis immediately is better.
No,
immediately is better.
No,
and it's not even particularly close.
I didn't see Anthony Davis shoot his way to his team to 3 Final Fours. He also won back-to-back national championships. Player of the Year. Christian Leitner would play circles around Anthony Davis.
If Anthony Davis had decided to play more than 1 year in college, he would have won them every year.
That's his fault.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer. But I digress. The Breaking Bad takes worse than that. You have not hung in long enough to.
I'm not going to hang into a series that if it has 10 shows in a season, it could have got by with 13 shows in each season. It could have got by with 4 of them.
No.
Yes, it could have.
I'm going to disagree.
I mean, it can't be a great show when 75% of the episodes are boring as heck.
That is insane. Like, it just absolutely baffles me. Some of the greatest television shows ever written were in Breaking Bad. I mean, there's at least 4 that just immediately come to mind that would be in the top 10 of greatest episodes in television history. 4 of the top 10, in my opinion, would be Breaking Bad episodes.
That's to me.
Not just my opinion. I mean, that's an opinion that's shared by many. But anyway, I am glad that popped into my head, though, because I wanted to circle back to that for a week now. So I had to get that in. But, I mean, for anybody out there, just let Vic know about it on his Twitter page.
No, that's fine. Either that or Green River Area Federal Credit Union text line. Let it eat.
Speaking of Twitter pages, and again, here I go, just one topic to the next. Rando, right, from Heavy Pour Sports.
Yep.
Is out there. First of all, he's on Radio Row at the Super Bowl.
Yes,
that's number 1. That's a big deal. Number 2, you're hanging out with Pat McAfee.
Oh, hey, when you are an active Marine officer,
yeah, that's cool.
And I mean,
sure.
I mean, Rando's great. I love what he does with what they do with Kentucky sports and the way they cover it. All of them. You got Rando and T and Hammer and Selena. They do great work out there. But Rando had with him and I talk a lot. He had called me about 2 weeks before the Super Bowl and said, "Hey, this gig had been offered. Should I jump on it?" And I was like, "Man, you got to," and I was like, and then kind of just kind of to make him aware of what to expect. He's like, yeah, but we won't get to talk to anybody. And I was like, Rando, it's like when you go to the combine, there are people walking up and down Radio Row just looking to get interviewed. Yeah. I mean, it'll be whatever. Like you can get, you'll get whatever you want to get. Like, even when you're not doing your live podcast.
Super Bowl's probably better because you got coaches, GMs, and players.
Former players.
And you got celebrities. I mean,
they're all out there pushing something. Somebody's got them all out there for something. So you'll get all the interviews you want. But to see him get to talk with McAfee and to understand that, just how good of a guy, and I've heard from different people, and I've never met him, but I've heard from people that what you see is what you get from McAfee, like, off the air. Like he is that bigger cartoon character than ever on game day. But he does a lot of great stuff, giving away thousands and thousands of dollars on those kicks. And but they say when you're off the air that you will not meet a nicer guy, and you saw that with the conversation he had with Rando.
And he carved his own path. McAfee did.
Yes.
I mean, he's a punter for the Colts. I mean, yeah, he was charismatic then, but to rise through the talk show ranks like he has, I mean, when you think sports talk shows, I mean, outside of Barstool, or these days, it's probably McAfee right there at the top. I mean, obviously, he got paid quite a bit to bring his show to ESPN. But my thing was, like, he sat there individually and, like, spoke to – I mean, I saw on Twitter they said over 200 people.
Yes.
Yesterday for McAfee. I mean, he don't have to do that.
No.
That dude could have just went straight back to his hotel and never batted an eye. But I thought that was pretty cool to take the time to individually – I mean, him and Rando were having an individual conversation. I thought that was pretty cool. I think that you should hold McAfee in high regard.
Without
for
a
how
doubt.
He treats people.
I don't know if you saw the interview with Ed McCaffrey, and I didn't really put this together, but if you put Rando and Christian McCaffrey side by side, Ed McCaffrey may need to have a DNA test with Rando's mom. That's all I'm saying. I mean, because Christian McCaffrey and Rando, they're like twins.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, it's pretty. Like I say, you get to talk to so many different people out there on Radio Row. But I was going to talk UK. Comment came in from Riley on the Green River Area Federal Credit Union text line. He wanted to ask you about Dan Orlovsky's comments today about the Cowboys. He said Dak is on his second Super Bowl window starting next season.
It's been 25 years since they played in the NFC Championship game.
When was his first window?
I love Orlovsky, but I don't know. Dallas hadn't had a Super Bowl window since I was like 16 years old. Like, come on.
I will say that I think the Cowboys have an opportunity this offseason. I have not looked at their salary cap or anything. I don't know what they're setting at. But if they could add a pass rusher, I think you could add a pass rusher, maybe add a defensive back. But the key is the Pickens situation. I think he unlocked a lot for your offense last year, and if you lose him, then I feel like the offense. I feel like Dak in general kind of regresses a little bit. I love the way they focused on running the football, and when Dak's had his most. That's not just Dak. It's a lot of quarterbacks. If you can look at Sam Darnold this year with the running game he has in Seattle, it's just a security blanket when you can run the football like that.
So it's been 30 years since Dallas won a Super Bowl. Okay, so I guess
Orlovsky he's good.
Was Dak's window when he was one?
Stuff.
Maybe that's what he's talking about when Dak was one. He was talking about that window.
Yeah, but he wasn't on the Cowboys.
I'm just saying it was the second Dak window of Cowboys winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Listen, let's just be honest.
Orlovsky says some wild stuff. He's turning into Skip Bayless.
No. I love Orlovsky, and I think he's really good.
He says some wild stuff.
No, but I will say this. The next Dallas Super Bowl window is when the Jones family sells the Dallas Cowboys because it's all about making money, and it's really not about winning Super Bowls anymore for Jerry Jones.
Up till recently, what was Dan Orlovsky known for the most?
Stepping out of bounds.
I was at that game.
Were you
person. Really? I was there. Jared Allen chasing the back of the end
now, if you want to talk quarterbacks and breaking down quarterbacks, I don't think there's anybody better out there than Dan Orlovsky.
He's good. I'm not saying he's not good, but every once in a while they're just throwing these wild takes out. I think that ESPN.
Well, that's the ESPN thing. They all want. Well, it's just that they all want to be. I mean, let's just be honest. For anymore, it's shock jock, especially the ones that are on TV.
Yeah.
It's all about. Listen,
I saw the ratings.
They're just like the
ratings are up for Get Up.
Well, here's the thing.
Who's watching that?
Let me just tell you.
I mean,
TV sports talk.
Show,
TV sports talk. Yeah. Okay, and like whether it be most of the shows. All right. 24-hour news, CNN, Fox, all of that, or politicians, none of them believe what they're saying. It's all just to move the needle.
Why do you think McAfee's so popular? Or
because he
PMT,
says he believes what he says.
They're picked up. Barstool picked up by Netflix because it's just a bunch of dudes in a room talking about sports.
And they believe 100% what they say, and they're not saying things just to move a needle.
Riley calls me Bayless all the time. I'm not trying to get any kind of reaction. My takes are just bad. The reaction I'm trying to get is
the takes that you give, just right. Like what I give, I firmly believe, but that Breaking Bad is the most overrated TV show in the history of TV.
Back. We're 15 minutes
I truly believe that.
We have a 15-minute interview, and I wanted to leave time for the LA 5, so let's get to this. Texas, throughout the show, Green River Area Federal Credit Union text line 270-903-0389. We're streaming on social media and on YouTube at the moment. Kentucky put down a pretty good performance last night, as they should. Oklahoma, not a very good basketball team.
They'll have a new coach at the end of the year.
Yeah, they weren't very well coached, to say the least. But Owe is really starting to become the player that we expected him to be going into the season. He looks like an All-American player. He scored 24 last night. And Brandon Garrison, man.
Well, it's Oklahoma. He always plays well against Oklahoma.
Brandon Garrison is a different player.
Well, I mean, listen.
We just need to figure out a way to make him mad before every game.
Just put the other team in Oklahoma jerseys all the
Maybe
time.
Maybe you can just get him an early technical. Like, somebody get under his skin, get him an early technical, and then boom, he's 20 and 10.
There you go.
Chandler's playing well too.
No, Chandler's a player.
He's really developing, and it's good to see. Obviously, it's just I feel like the team is starting to take hold. I buried him after the Vanderbilt game. I don't regret burying him after the Vanderbilt. It was a terrible game to watch, but you're stacking them now. You got the denim is coming back Saturday night. You don't like the denim. I understand that. The denim was hideous. The denim was just hideous. But the team that it was related to was absolutely incredible. I have fond memories.
I will say this. That team is the greatest college basketball team since like 1970 on, and it's not remotely close, in my opinion. But the denim is the worst uniform in the history of uniforms.
That's almost what makes it good.
No, it's not.
It's so bad, it's good.
No, it's not.
I feel like it is.
I will say, I want to know who got Ollie off of Hoosiers to play for Oklahoma last night.
I don't know.
Did you see him on the free?
The coach is going to get fired.
Yeah, but when you go out and recruit Ollies off of Hoosiers, that's how you get fired.
Yeah, no, it's so. I was a little worried for a second. They were up 15, Kentucky, and then all of a sudden Oklahoma hits back-to-back threes, and Kentucky turns it over. They get it down to 8, and I was like, man, this is going to be – they can't blow this, or I'm going to freak out to start the show. But they didn't. They dominated the glass. Man, they shot 50%, 46% from 3. How about this number? Look at those numbers I just gave you, right? 21 assists.
Yes.
That's Drew Cooper basketball there.
Get 3-pointers. Get 3-pointers that are catch and shoot in the flow of the offense, and you'll shoot well.
Yeah, and Kentucky rolls on a game against Tennessee. 7:30 tip-off be on 102.7 the game, so it should make it a 5 o'clock pregame.
No, 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
Yeah, hour and a half.
I can't do math. Yeah, that's right, hour and a half. 6 o'clock pregame. Post-game show, and then we'll have well into the night the KSR post-game show.
Yeah.
That'll be one of those
late nights.
I mean, if it's either way, if it's a win or a loss against Tennessee, it should be festive.
I'll be listening on my drive home from Ashland, Ohio, right there on 102.7 with the Listen Live button.
Looking forward to that. Louisville defeats Notre Dame 76-65. It was a group effort. I mean, it was like you had like McNeely, Roos, Conwell, Frew, Pryor, all in double figures, and all of them was between 10 and 13 points. So it was like total group effort, 16-6, 6-4 on the season. They haven't necessarily been lighting the world on fire lately.
They needed that win.
They had to have it, yeah. Mm-hmm. Just sitting mid-pack there in the ACC.
How about Portland knocking off Gonzaga last night?
I wouldn't know. I actually was watching the Minnesota Wild last night.
There you go. Well, I mean, Portland had a losing record.
Got over. I got to flip it over and watch the rest. I was watching Kentucky on my phone, Wild on the TV, and I watched Dynamite for a little while too on there. Got to see,
there you go.
A little MJF action last night in the main event, and little Kenny Omega, Andre Alidio.
You need more TVs in your house, Steve.
I probably need a tablet, the phone, and the television.
Just get like a wall of TVs.
And me and Amber, most of the time, we're watching something together, and I've got the sports on the phone. But it was I regret not going to Nashville. While I was in Nashville, Yeah, the big hat trick from Boldy, like in the first 15 minutes of the game.
We have tickets down there. You didn't go,
man. You know, it's a weeknight. I got to work. You know, life happens, man. It's tough. We're gonna pause. I tell you what, Breckenridge County fell to Taylor County. They got Mercy tonight. The E-Gals of Apollo fell to Hart County on the girls' side. And boys action tonight. How about Bowling Green coming into McLean County tonight on the boys' side?
That's interesting.
Yeah, you got Ohio County at Hoptown on the boys' side as well. Muhlenberg girls are at Greenwood. Madisonville girls at Ohio County. We're going to pause it. When we come back, don't forget, we'll have Brent Houck talk a little bit about his book, the Edmonson County State Championship, The Mammoth Miracle. He's going to talk to Vic about it on the Green River Area Federal Credit Union Hotline. We're going to pause it for Karen Gross, realtor with RE/MAX Professional Realty Group. Your dream is her mission. Give her a call at 270-315-9810 or find her at KarenGross.net. It's live at 5, 1027 The Game.
When lives are changed due to injuries or death resulting from personal injuries, Aggress Legal Representation is critical to obtain a winning result. Foreman Watson Holtry has a proven track record of winning thousands of personal injury cases throughout our region and beyond. Find out why we win our injury cases. Foreman Watson Holtry, dedicated to you, committed to justice, FWHlegal.com.
And Michelle breaking down the biggest stories, the bonus eggs, and the realest reactions only on 1027 The Game. Your home for ESPN Radio. Unsportsmanlike delivers the passion every true sports fan craves. Brought to you by Floor Concepts, where design meets durability. That's Unsportsmanlike, weekday mornings, 5 to 8, only on 1027 The Game.
Van Atten's award-winning Pitmaster barbecue sauce. From backyard grills to big events, they make it pit perfect every time. Their food truck and catering can bring the flavor straight to you. And here's a thank you to our hometown heroes. With valid ID, veterans, police, firefighters, and EMS get a free drink with a purchase at the food truck. See where they're serving next, shop the sauce, and book your event at VanAttensBarbecue.com. And follow Van Atten's Pitmaster barbecue sauce on Facebook. Van Atten's, where flavor wins.
Looking for a financial partner you can trust? Look no further than Green River Area Federal Credit Union. Whether you're saving for the future, buying a new home, or need a loan, we've got you covered with competitive rates and personalized service. Join the community that cares about your financial well-being. Visit Green River Area Federal Credit Union at one of our 3 locations in Henderson, Greenville, or Owensboro and experience the difference today. Your money, your future, your credit union. Member NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
This is Travis Holtry from Foreman Watson Holtry. You know, I recognize that there is a stigma against personal injury lawyers, and I understand that stigma because of some of the ways that personal injury lawyers portray themselves. But at Foreman Watson Holtry, we are real people helping real people with their injuries. We are your one call for injury law. Foreman Watson Holtry, dedicated to you, committed to justice, FWHlegal.com.
You can trust that your heart is in expert hands at Owensboro Health. Our board-certified heart specialists provide the full spectrum of care, from minimally invasive procedures to the latest technologies and life-saving treatments. Get the advanced heart care you deserve close to home in Western Kentucky and Southern Indiana. Learn more or schedule an appointment at owensborohealth.org/heartcare.
Transform your living space into your dream oasis with Southern Charm Remodeling. We bring Southern elegance to every project with attention to detail and commitment to high quality results. From kitchen and bathroom remodeling to home additions, painting, outdoor living spaces, concrete, and roofing. Contact us now for a free consultation through Facebook. Call 270-903-0605 or visit SouthernCharmRemodelingKY.com. Southern Charm Remodeling, transforming spaces and inspiring hearts.
Looking for quality tools, building supplies, and equipment for your next project? Visit Miller Building Supply, Seabury Hardware and Rental, or the Providence Home Center. Owned and operated by Opie and Leslie Parrish, they have a friendly staff with great selection and everything you need to make your next home improvement dream a reality.
Let's get back to Live at 5 with Steve and Coach on 1027 The Game.
It's Live at 5, brought to you by Foreman Watson Holtry, your one call for injury law, FWHlegal.com. Vic Evans in the Floor Concept Studios, and we're going to jump onto the Green River Area Federal Credit Union hotline and get guest of the game, author Brent Houck, who will be in Edmondson on Friday night as they're having the Kentucky High School Basketball Hall of Fame Glory Road game, celebrating and honoring the 1976 state championship team from Edmondson. And Brent has wrote a book about it. Welcome to the show, Brent.
Thanks so much, Vic. It's great to be on.
You know, my first question I have for you is, you're not from Edmondson. If I think somebody said you went maybe to Warren Central or the Bowling Green area. Is that where you're originally from?
I'm a native of Bowling Green, a graduate of Warren Central.
Okay, so I got good information. So what was it about the 1976 Edmonton State Basketball Championship team that get into that you go and write a book, The Mammoth Miracle, about this team?
Yeah, it's really, there are multiple factors here. So the first part of it is it's a nostalgic enterprise on my part. I was 12 years old in March of 1976. My father, Bobby Houck, was the ticket manager at Western, and he got tickets to the Sweet 16 and asked if I wanted to go. So for the first time, we went to the Sweet 16 together in 1976. I had no idea what to expect. It was the most exciting thing I'd ever seen. And what started off as we're going to go this year turned into, once we started, we never stopped. He passed away in November of 2024. And our last tournament was in March of 2024. He was 94 years old. So we spent a lot of time together at basketball games, the state tournament. And that was the first one. That's the genesis story. So that's part of it. But there's so much more to it. You know, a lot of people believe that Edmondson County win was the game, the tournament that saved the Sweet 16 as a tournament where any team could win regardless of the size of the school. Mm-hmm. And in the previous 7 years, the tournament had been won 6 times by a team from Louisville. The only exception was 1972 when Owensboro won the tournament. But many people thought that the day of the small school, rural school possibility of winning had passed. And Edmonson County kind of proved that was no longer true. So that was part of it as well, as just the historical aspect. But then beyond that, there was also all these great personalities. You know, it was a year when we probably had more talent in the state than any other year before or since then. And it was also a year when you had a guy like Bobo Davenport, who had gotten fired the year before at Grayson County, hadn't won a district tournament game, or not game, but won a district tournament since 1952. And then they sweep to the state tournament. And so just the human interest part of it was also part of the appeal to me of writing.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you, as one of my questions I had, not to play spoiler for anything that's in the book, you know, there are a lot of people that say that Edmondson saved the Sweet 16. As you did more research and started talking to people, did you find that was really kind of a true statement?
I think it's more complicated than that. I think without Edmonson County winning the 1976 tournament, there was a really good chance that class basketball would have been implemented that year, and it wasn't, and it bought some time. Now, they did have subsequent votes, so it certainly didn't put the question to rest forever. I think it was a combination of Edmonson County winning and then of the All-A tournament kind of gaining in importance and giving the small teams a chance to compete with each other, but also giving them a chance to come back and compete against the big teams as well.
Yeah, you know, and for somebody like you said, you know, 76 was your first state title, Sweet 16. You've been going every year since then. You know, if you were to talk to students and athletes today, you know, in the day and age of social media, what would you tell them that the Sweet 16 was like in the 70s and in the 80s and even the early 90s? You know, my era of growing up and going through high school, I was born in 73, where, you know, you didn't get the stories every day bombarded that you could read about, you know, a player from Ashland on social media. You could see highlights from a player at Ashland. You know, what was the Sweet 16 like every year that you would go up? And a lot of times you were seeing guys that you had heard about but had never actually seen.
Yeah, no doubt. That's a great question. I mean, and you can use the 1976 tournament as a good example. I actually, when we had made the plans to go, thought I was going to get to see Darrell Griffith and Bobby Turner at Mayo High School. They were seniors that year, and they didn't make it to the Sweet 16. but guys like Tim Stevens from McCreary County in the far eastern part of the state. Tim Stevens was only a name that I had read about, a guy who was scoring about 35 points a game, and that Joe Hall had compared to a young Jerry West. But the chance to see him live was something that, it just brought a lot of excitement, and everybody in the state had eyeballs on a player like that who signed with Kentucky. They wanted to see him.
Right.
And then a guy like Duran Macklin at Shawnee, who the Courier Journal called a human wrecking crew, one-man wrecking crew, because if you looked at the box score, pick a game at random, and he was going to have 25 points and 17 rebounds and 12 block shots. So that was exciting. And also, I think the student sections at that time, communities were very tight knit.
Correct.
So when a team like Marshall County, in their orange and white uniforms, got to Rupp Arena, a quarter of the arena would be filled with orange, and it was really a spectacle to see. And there were many teams, many players who made it like that.
Yeah.
In that era.
And in today's world, it's almost like college, where you see a group of freshmen come up and your first thought is, if we can keep them together and nobody transfers, we're going to be really good in a few years. You just never know. When they set this up and you got the call from Edmonson County honoring this team, it's, the Glory Road, the Kentucky Basketball Hall of Fame has the Glory Road games, and they wanted you to come back and do a book signing. What did that mean to you? And are you looking forward to it?
I can't tell you how exciting this is for me. Writing a book, a lot of people are involved in writing a book, but it's also kind of a solitary effort at the same time. And until there is something to do that involves being around other people, it doesn't really seem quite real. This makes it seem real. I'm very lucky. The players from Edmonson County, I've met them. They were so cooperative. They've become friends of mine. I didn't know any of them before I started researching the book, and now the opportunity to see them get kind of their due back in the arena where they made it all happen is really special for me to be able to be there and see that.
Not to give away any, we want people to go out and buy the book, and we'll get where they can find it. It's called The Mammoth Miracle. It's on the 1976 Edmonton State Championship basketball team. Is the book just about the Sweet 16, or do you, in your research and your stories that you get, is this follow them throughout the year? Just kind of give me a layout of what the people can expect if they go out and find the book and get the book.
Yeah, and so it's really, it culminates in the Sweet 16, but it really starts in the 1950s. And a lot of this story follows the career of Bobo Davenport, the coach who is, he's been deceased for several years and unfortunately is not going to be able to see the 50th anniversary of the championship season. But it follows his ups and downs and how that tracks with the era of small school rural basketball declining in the state. As back when he started, a team like Cuba in the far western part of the state was just as much of a powerhouse as Louisville Manual was. So that in the 1952 season, they were going back and forth as the top two teams, and then over time that kind of declined. So this is showing how strong some of the teams were in 1976. I mentioned Mail with Darrell Griffith and Bobby Turner. Ballard had three guys who were in the Kentucky High School Basketball Hall of Fame: Jeff Lamp, Lee Raker, Jerry Eves. Lamp and Eves played in the NBA. They all three played on Final Four NCAA teams. Rudy Macklin, Tim Stevens. So there were these great teams and players, and while they're beating each other up during the course of the season, and Edmonson County is kind of ticking along, and they're winning games and going on some winning streaks, but they're also losing some games along the way to teams that are not powerhouse teams, and how all of that kind of culminates in a series of upsets that leads to, I think, the most unlikely, most miraculous Sweet 16 championship team in the state's history.
We're on the Green River Area Federal Credit Union hotline with author Brent Houck. He offered Mammoth Miracles on the 1976 Edmonton State Championship basketball team. You brought up a great name that my dad used to talk about all the time with me growing up, and that was Cuba. You know, they won a state title, were in back-to-back state championships. And he talked about the gym they played in was basically like a cafeteria, you know, back in the day. But as you research this book and you talk to the players, and I know, like, you know, I tell people I was fortunate enough to coach a team that went to the Little League World Series. And I was like, you know, the stories I can't tell you are the best stories out there. Were there some great stories that you just couldn't put in the book?
Well, so there were a few stories that that I elected to not put in the book to protect the innocent. But there were also, I have to say, there were some things just for the length of the book that got left on the cutting room floor that, you know, I think were also entertaining in their own right, but just didn't do enough to further the story. But certainly it was a period of time when, you know, there were hijinks going on that they weren't serious matters. And the coach dealt with.
Right. Well, we all grew up in that time of age. You know, you talk about you were 12 in 76. I was 3. But we grew up at a time and age where nobody had cameras walking around in their pockets every day. There's a lot of things we did growing up that we're glad it's not on video now.
Absolutely. But it was not, you know, the things that people get in trouble for these days, it seems like these are not stories, you know, about criminality. And so it's just, as I said, it's hijinks and, you know, minor stuff. And it was just a different day and age.
When did you get the idea to write this book and to go back and relive, you know, the yesteryear of small college, small communities and the way that basketball was? First, when did you get that idea to have this book?
Well, the main impetus for me to write it was being confronted with an impending retirement. Right. And I knew I practiced law for 35 years. And I knew that when I retired, there was going to be this space that I was going to need to fill. And I looked into several options, but what I kept coming back to was this story. And I thought, this is something that I can do, that I'm passionate about, and that I think other people may be interested in hearing about as well. And people who don't know this story, I think, sports fans, high school basketball fans certainly, but even just people who like a good human interest story. I think that's what happened in 1976. The personalities, but you know, I mentioned Bobo Davenport, but other personalities as well. There was a guy named Richard Schmidt who was coaching at Ballard High School in Louisville, who was kind of the Bobby Knight of Kentucky high school basketball, and Wade Houston, who was the Cool Hand Luke of college basketball. His son Allen Houston, of course, played at Tennessee and then played professional basketball with the Pistons and the Knicks. But those personalities also, I think, kind of fill out the color of the book, the structure of the book.
Yeah, and it's so great because maybe without Edmonton in 1976, then you lose your later on in the years, your Clay counties and your Brett counties and your Line counties. Like, it is those smaller areas where and it may only be once every 10 years or so, but they kind of captivate the entire state.
Well, you know, not only do they captivate the entire state, but that they have the opportunity. The small schools. One of the people I interviewed was Elijah Justice, who played on Shelby Valley's championship team in 2010. And that's what he talked about, that it was the stage that they got the opportunity to play on, to show what they could do. At Shelby Valley, they didn't win the All-A in 2010, as I recall, but they came back and won the Sweet 16. So, you know, it just shows what small schools are capable of when they get to work. Right. And play together as a team.
Well, Brent, you got to let everybody know here, where can they find the book? Where can they get the book? And then also you'll be, like I said, for people out there that are interested, you'll be at the game Friday. You'll sign books there, but where can people find this book and buy it?
So they're easy. The easiest thing to do is to go to my website, www.brenthouk, all one word. That's BRENTHOUK.com, www.brenthouk.com. And I've got a link there to buy either the paperback or the electronic version of the book. If anybody wants to actually pick up a hard copy, there is a bookstore, Carmichael's in Louisville, that should have copies in next week. And anybody in the who happens to be in the Louisville area and wants to pick it up and see it and look at it before they buy, that would be a place where that could be done.
Well, man, we appreciate you joining us here on Live at 5. Enjoy Friday night and the Glory Roll game down there at Edmonton. I think it's going to be a tremendous celebration of maybe one of the, in too much in this year, a kind of a forgotten team that did kind of save the Sweet 16 and at least made it, at least let it carry on. And that's why Kentucky still has the best high school basketball state tournament in the entire nation.
Without question. Vic, thank you so much for the opportunity to have this discussion. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Brett. And we'll be right back with more Live at 5, 1027, The Game.
Remember what Halloween was like when you were a kid? Ghostly Productions has decorations, animatronic props, and even collectibles, capturing the vibes of vintage Halloween and making it a memorable shopping experience for both you and your kids.
Hey, it's Johnny Calhoun of Calhoun's Barbershop. Come see us at 452 East 18th Street. We're here early, Monday through Friday, 7 to 5:30, Saturday, 7 to noon. And as always, we don't want to be everybody's barber. We just want to be your barber at Calhoun's Barbershop.
Protect what matters most with Home Mutual Insurance. Whether it's your home, your car, business, or life insurance, we've got you covered. Stop by 532 Main Street in Tell City or call 812-547-2363 for a free quote. Home Mutual Insurance, your trusted local provider.
Looking for your dream home? Look no further. Ethan Myers at Fairway Realty is your key to a personalized home buying experience. Ethan ensures a smooth and stress-free journey to home ownership. Don't wait. Call Ethan Myers at Fairway Realty today and unlock the door to your future.
Kentron Manufacturing is hiring. We're looking for entry-level associates who are dedicated and drug-free. In business over 50 years, we offer insurance, paid holidays, vacation, and a clean, controlled environment. Apply in person at 610 Industrial Drive. Kentron is an equal opportunity employer.
The Hancock County Library is open Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. We have activities for all ages. Visit hcplky.org today or call 270-927-6760. Hancock County Public Library, keeping you connected.
Experience ultimate control and peace of mind with Labor Management Federal Credit Union's Secure Lock Equip, an easy-to-use mobile app that allows you to protect your credit and debit cards in real time. Turn your card on or off. Customize permissions as needed to prevent fraud and control spending. Visit lmfcu.net for details. Power to protect with Secure Lock Equip at Labor Management Federal Credit Union member NCUA.
When serious illness changes everything, you don't have to face it alone. Hospice and Palliative Care of Western Kentucky is here, walking alongside families in Davis, Hancock, Hopkins, and Muhlenberg counties. With expert medical care, emotional support, and compassionate guidance, HPC helps you focus on what matters most: comfort, dignity, and time together. Visit hospiceofwky.org to learn more. Hospice and Palliative Care of Western Kentucky. Support for the journey.
Make the most of every lawn with Kubota commercial landscaping equipment. From the productivity-boosting Z700 series mower to the reliable SVL track loader. It's a lineup built to get the job done right. Because when your reputation is on the line, you need equipment that will never let you down. Visit your local Kubota dealer today. Check us out today at Hagen's Outdoor Equipment with 3 locations to serve you. Highway 54 in Philpott, Salem Drive in Owensboro, and Power Machinery on Highway 41 in Hanson. We appreciate your business.
Dedicated to finding products that others can't. That is what sets 270 Tactical apart. Right now, forced reset triggers are in stock for the extremely popular Taurus TX22, and they're going fast. FRTs are also available for many other firearms, including AR-15 platforms. Get the full kit and installation when you shop at 270 Tactical. Stop in today and see why shooters trust 270 Tactical for hard-to-find items. 270 Tactical, located at 1737 Sherm Road.
You know, roofing ain't no hobby. He's a pro, but his name is Robbie. So don't fool around with amateurs, doggone it. And don't worry about the roof. Robbie's on it.
Roof trouble? Call Robbie Lee, 270-929-2786.
Don't worry about the roof. Robbie's on it.
Local sports at its finest, live at 5 with Stephen A. Turner and Vic Evans on 102.7 The Game.
Live at 5, brought to you by Foreman Watson Holtry, FWHlegal.com. Stephen A. Turner, Vic Evans back here in the Floor Concept Studios. Time for a little Van Atten's Pitmaster Barbecue Sauce LA5. From backyard grills to big events, they make it pit perfect every time. Be sure and follow Van Atten's on Facebook. You can purchase their award-winning sauces at Reed's Orchard, Hillview Farms. Van Atten's is where flavor wins, right here on the table.
I took the other bottle home and tried it out. It's absolutely unbelievable. I can't wait to try out the hot and spicy. I have a feeling this hot and spicy is pretty good.
Yeah. The other one was really good.
Yeah, I mean the bar.
What's it? Just a regular, well, that's sweet heat.
That's the one you want.
Yeah,
I didn't take it home. I took the regular one home. I'm gonna let you have the sweet heat, and I'm gonna take the hot and spicy and try it out. And they're unbelievable. Great stuff.
Good stuff. And then before we get started, a little side note: how about Ty Ashley picking up 2 more offers? West Virginia, and just recently, just came under the wire here. Marshall.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Rich Rod getting in at West Virginia. How about that? There
Ty
you go.
Ashley's blowed up, man.
Number 1 linebacker in the state of Kentucky.
Yeah, good stuff. Congratulations, Ty.
Van Atten's question number 1 of the LA5. With all the trade action in the NBA, and you're right, looks like Giannis is going nowhere. Who's now your favorite in both the East and the West?
I don't think the trade action really manipulated the standings at all, right? I mean, Giannis would have been a big piece. I mean, there wasn't enough moved. Everybody that was moved was ancient.
I don't know. I kind of like the Porzingis going over to Golden State. Yeah. I think that helps him.
It helps them, but I don't know.
I don't get him to the Thunder. Now, if you're going to let Shai Gilgeous-Alexander take like 14 steps and shoot a jumper,
the Thunder's locks in the West.
Did you see the move he made the other night?
Yeah, and it's a shame because he's a UK cat, and I loved him when he played here.
Can't watch him play.
No, it's not basketball.
You let Jordan do what Shai does, and Jordan would average 70.
It's a foul merchant. Like, I don't want to see somebody sit and watch.
So you got OKC.
Thunder. In the East, I'm cheering for the Knicks.
Nah, they can't win it.
I'm sure the Knicks will find a way to not do it, but who else is it then?
Boston,
if Tatum comes back.
I don't know if you need him. I mean, you're already in second still.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't think Harden to the Cavaliers moves that needle any?
No, it does a little bit. Yeah, the Cavs certainly could.
I think the East is pretty wide.
The East is open. And the thing is, we mentioned all these teams, and the Pistons are sitting there 37-12. We didn't talk about that.
I know. That's the Pistons.
Yeah.
Question number 2.
Cunningham would have a good postseason. That's the only player on the team I know.
Van Atten's LA5. Question number 2. KWC's off tonight.
Yeah.
There's plenty of action in the GMAC conference, and you're getting deep, and you got 6 to 7 games left in the conference. Which games are you intrigued and going to keep an eye on tonight?
Yeah, man. You look around so you got Walsh is out in front. I'm thinking they're staying out in front.
Yeah, they're going to win the conference.
So I'm going to cheer for whoever Walsh is playing on most nights.
I'm going to cheer for Walsh.
Cheer for Walsh. Yeah, Walsh in those games. Cheering for Walsh to beat whoever they're playing most nights, I'll say, for the rest of the season. Ashland's sitting there at 2. Wesleyan's got them on Saturday.
I got Thomas More tonight. That's one to keep an eye on.
Yeah, you got Lake Erie at 3 in the points. And those have kind of separated a little bit. Not saying Wesleyan can't catch them, but right now there's a little bit of a gap. The teams that are right there for Wesleyan for the taking, Findlay's off tonight.
Yep.
Northwood's at Malone.
That'll be an interesting one.
Go Malone.
Because
Northwood's right there in front. And then ODU is just right there in front of Wesleyan as well. They host Cedarville tonight. So go Cedarville.
I will say this, though. I was looking at the points and adding them up. All right, and who does Ashland have? They have Thomas More.
Thomas Moore's at Ashland.
If Wesleyan, now whether or not take the Thomas More game out, in or out, if Wesleyan was to win at Ashland, they move all the way up to like 0.02 points behind Ashland, and 2 becomes a real possibility.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of basketball left, but I mean, if you just got to look at the games that are tonight, and then of course Wesleyan's got to win Saturday, or none of this really matters. So tonight on the GMAC men's schedule, you look at the scoreboard: Lake Erie at Walsh, go Walsh.
Mm-hmm.
Tiffin at Hillsdale, go Tiffin.
Go Tiffin.
Which is a long shot, but they played well on Saturday.
They won.
They did. That's right. I said it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah,
they beat Malone.
They beat Malone.
Yeah. You got Northwood at Malone, so go Malone. Go Malone. Thomas More at Ashland, go Thomas More. Cedarville at ODU, go Cedarville. On the women's side, the women are right there in the 4 spot. They've got 5 losses. Findlay also has 5 losses, but they have the tiebreaker.
They have the tiebreaker.
So you need Findlay to lose. Yep. Probably not going to happen tonight. They're hosting Ursuline. Go Ursuline. And then you got Lake Erie at Walsh. Go Lake Erie. Tiffin at Hillsdale, who's right behind them. Hillsdale's got 6 losses, so go Tiffin. It'd be a big upset. Northwood's the number 1 team. No one's catching them. Malone maybe still within catching distance, so go. Northwood at Malone on the women's side. Thomas More, the second team in the conference, is at Ashland tonight.
Be a good one.
So you can create a little separation there. Thomas More gets the win. Go Thomas More is the way I see it, because I don't think ladies are catching Thomas More.
No. Go Thomas More. Take down to Ashland, then you go get a win on Saturday.
Yeah, Northwood's got 1 conference loss. Thomas Moore's got 2. Malone's got 3. The Lady Panthers have 5.
Here's my question for you, though. Would you rather go ahead and have Ashland win because you don't think that they're going to drop a Thursday, Saturday home tilt?
Yeah, no, we're just going to let that bad momentum just carry in.
Gotcha.
I say that. And, this is one where you got Thursday off, going into a Saturday where the teams play on Thursday. So this is an advantage to you. Even though you're on the road, it's still an advantage to you with that extra rest. So both looking for a sweep on BIO on Saturday.
Without a doubt. Question number 3, Van Atten's LA5. Of course, it's time to start ramping up our NFL draft coverage. So we'll give you our mock drafts coming up in the future. Coming out of Senior Bowl, who are some guys that you think are moving up the draft boards?
Man, yeah, I had a good time keeping up with Senior Bowl practice. I'm already in full-blown draft mode to the point where this is going to really expose me as a nerd. I'm making these data sheets.
Yes.
Right? I'm trying to get 10 years of data on each round of the NFL draft.
By position.
And
then how many hits?
Right. So I've got 4 columns. I've got superstar.
Okay.
Right. Then you've got bona fide starter.
Mm-hmm.
Then you've got rosterable player, and then you got bust. So 4 categories, and your draft picks are going to fall into one of those 4. Over 10 years, round per round, how many quarterbacks are taken in round 1, round 2, every position, go in there and then rate how that player did in each round. So what the reason my thought process is that data would be interesting, right? So, like, if like, say, in the last 10 years.
How many third-round draft picks at quarterback or lower are even rosterable guys in the NFL?
Not many.
No.
It's not many. That quarterback's different. What I'm really looking for is, like, every year you see so many teams. Like, look at the Seahawks roster, or look at the Rams roster, or Denver, these guys that are drafted in rounds,
and linebackers in 6th and 7th round that are
Harold Fannin Jr. last year. He was a tight end taken, I think, in the 3rd or 4th round by the Browns. He was one of the top candidates for Rookie of the Year. But if you start to stack those numbers, you're like, man, 4th round tight ends have a 70%, starting hit rate.
Yeah.
So maybe I don't have to draft this tight end in the 2nd round. I can wait to the 4th historically.
If it's a deep tight end draft.
I mean, I think it'd be interesting, especially for like guards and centers. And most people don't care about that, but I don't know. I'm fascinated with roster construction and really the draft process itself. You start to look at some of these guys, man, like following like Daniel Jeremiah and Jordan Reed and several good ones that were down there. How about the Indiana running back, Black?
Yes, I got mine by position. I give you 1 or 2 guys each position. Yeah. My only running back I have that's going way up the draft board is Kaleon Black from IU. Split a lot of time, but he had a huge Senior Bowl.
Yeah, the other running back from IU will go ahead of him even. So 2 good Indiana backs in there. What else you got? I'll follow
for quarterback, I got Grant Nussmeier, and I don't know. I don't think he had a great Senior Bowl, but he had a decent Senior Bowl, and I think it's still going to be on.
Nussmeier has got potential.
It still won't be a first rounder.
No. I'm thinking Nussmeier's probably a 3rd.
Right, but I think most people are considering that his play last year for LSU had a lot to do with injuries and Brian Kelly. So those are my quarterback. Yeah. So my wide receivers I have moving up draft boards. I think this guy's got a chance with the Senior Bowl he had to maybe jump in the 1st round. Surprise, Malachi Fields from Notre Dame, and a guy that will be a great mid-round pick. How about Tyron Montgomery from John Carroll?
Yeah, man.
They talked about his Senior Bowl was unreal.
Yeah, Division III.
Yes.
John Carroll. He was just out there schooling people. That's a guy you can get probably somewhere in the 4th or 5th round maybe that, could really help you.
He may move up to the 3rd round, though, with that Senior Bowl.
Yeah, Reggie Virgil, wide receiver from Texas Tech, another one I had. He's coming off 15 touchdowns the last couple years. If you're needing wide receiver in the middle rounds, a couple names there.
Offensive line, I went 1 center, 1 tackle, 1 guard that moved up boards.
A little flavor.
At center, the Florida center, Slaughter, had a big – I think he'll maybe be the first center taken.
Got a good name.
He does. The tackle, how about from Arizona State, Max Island Anchor?
There you go. Anacor. I don't know. Something to that effect.
He had a big Senior Bowl. And then for guard, let's stay right at home. Jalen Farmer from Kentucky had a monster Senior Bowl, and this guy's going to go in the top 3 rounds now.
Yeah, I think he's a day 2 guy for sure. Now from UK, the big cat from Iowa. I don't know if I have him on the paper. He's graded as a tackle now, but saying he might move in and play center. He's the offensive tackle from Iowa had a big week.
Well, I mean, Iowa. That's the one thing they do well is have offensive linemen a lot of times, and usually they have one of the best centers.
Front seven defensively. If you need cover linebackers, Kyle Lewis from Pitt.
Had a good one.
That's a third, fourth round guy. Jacob Rodriguez, cover guy from Texas Tech at the linebacker. I mean, everybody's raving about his performances. You go to the D line, TJ Parker from Clemson.
Yep, edge guy.
But TJ Parker is a guy, you look at what he did in practice at the Senior Bowl and you think, oh, man, like he's going to be a first-round pick lock. But it scares me a little bit when a guy goes from 11 sacks 1 year to only 5. Like, when you see that production, to me, you're in college. Like, you get to the NFL level, are you sure you're going to be able to get back to that 11?
Yeah, but sometimes I'd have to know Clemson of what they lost. If he lost a lot of help on the other side, now he's getting triple teamed every time.
If you're a first-round pick,
but if you're still getting double teamed every time, you're not going to dominate. Also on the edge, Gabe Jacobs from Illinois and Zion Young from Missouri were really good.
The Jacobs cat.
Yep.
The Missouri guy is probably a second-round pick. Michigan has an edge rusher, Derek Moore.
It's loaded in edge rushers.
It is.
And I will say this.
Cowboys fans should be licking their chops. You could probably draft 2 of them.
Up front, Texas Tech, Lee Hunter.
There it
defensive
is.
lineman.
That's what I want.
I think he's a guy. I mean, there's some really good D linemen, but I think Hunter's a guy that's really making a splash.
Yeah, Hunter is probably a late first round, early second round defensive lineman. I think he's a Brian Flores type of guy. And then the last one I got for you, Bud Clark. TCU safety. How about 15 interceptions in his career at TCU? And he was out there just putting on a show.
He was.
At the Senior Bowl. All the clips, I follow all the scouts and everything, were really high. I think he probably got the most publicity of any defensive back through the whole week there.
Question number 4, Van Atten's LA5. South Spencer Lady Rebels rolled last night in the sectional tournament to set up a huge matchup tomorrow. 18-4 Mater Dei, 17-15 South Spencer. South Spencer's won 9 in a row. Mater Dei's won 12 in a row. Who do you like in this matchup?
It's tough. I don't know anything about Mater Dei girls basketball.
You can't find anything on Max Preps.
I know. I dug into them a little bit. You look at Mater. They played Wrights really well. And Wrights. That's a team that we know well. How about though? Henderson County 61, Mater Dei 36.
Right.
So, we have this Owensboro Health top 10. I'm really wondering how skewed it is. How will these Southern Indiana schools fare against our top 3? The Davis County's Catholics and
well, I guess if South Spencer goes out and bombs Mater Dei tomorrow, we'll know.
And then South Spencer probably belongs where they were at. I think South Spencer needs to win the game. I think they're the better team. But, man, one thing I learned about sectionals over the course of covering Southern Indiana, it never works out how you think it's going to.
No, it doesn't.
Like a team could bomb somebody in the regular season, they come out and get beat by 30.
I thought Tell City was going to roll North Posey because they bombed them in the regular season, and then it was like 24-4.
It's the exact opposite.
Yeah,
I mean,
unreal.
Same thing for Heritage Hills.
Yep.
They didn't beat Castle in the regular, and I knew that was going to Castle Central. They didn't beat Central in the regular season, but you knew it was going to be tough. And, Heritage Hills was number 3 in the Owensboro Health top 10?
Yes.
Season's over.
At
15-6. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's crazy, man. We're not even to Valentine's Day yet, and girls basketball is over for Tell City.
Well, they only take 4 teams to the regional. You got to win your quote-unquote district over there. Runner-up doesn't get to go.
Ain't getting you. That's right.
They don't take any runner-ups.
And Perry Central had to bye. They're going to play North Posey now tomorrow night as well.
And those winners will take on the winner of South Spencer. And I think we'll have that game on CJ, the sectional championship, on Saturday with Aaron Owen.
I like South Spencer to advance, and I like Perry to advance. I'm taking Perry to advance.
I do, too, and I like South Spencer to win that sectional.
Man, all this snow. North Posey already got a game under the belt.
We'll
Perry
see
Central
what happens.
hasn't really been practicing that. I don't know if they have or not. I mean, I barely know anybody on their team.
Last one, real quickly. Van Atten's LA5 Super Bowl weekend. I don't want to talk games. You guys will do that tomorrow. Give me your top 3 Super Bowl ads, but you got to take the Bud Bowl out of it all time.
Bud Bowl's number 1.
It's all time. Yeah. That's not even close.
And Budweiser's got all kinds of good ones. The Clydesdale football game where they had the zebra come out as the ref.
Yes.
I really like that one.
All right.
They also had the dog and horse best friend one. That was pretty
Have you seen the new one with the Clydesdale and the eagle, where he's trying to teach the eagle to fly?
Yeah,
that's a
Eagly. Yeah, it's great. But I'll go. I mean, those are just. I'm not really going to rank them. Those are all the ones that come to mind. How about McDonald's with the Jordan and Bird? You remember that one?
Oh yeah,
that was incredible. Arnold, get to the chopper, the State Farm commercial a couple years ago. I'm a big Arnold guy. What can I say? The TV reunion ones though are always good. Jurassic Park has one this year, I hear. Harry Met Sally one with the Hellmans one was good. And your favorite show, Breaking Bad, the Pop Corners.
You didn't even end still the best one outside of Bud Bowl.
What is the best one?
The best one ever. There's two outside of Bud Bowl. Cindy Crawford Pepsi commercial.
That's accurate. Yeah.
And the Dorito commercial with the pregnant lady where he's like moving the chip.
I saw everybody was saying that one. That was pretty good. We'll see you tomorrow live at 5
on 102.7 The Game. Special thanks to Foreman Watson Hultree for sponsoring the preceding broadcast. FWHlegal.com. Tune in next time for Live at 5 on 102.7